firstly, the diversity of the scale of the business that you work with is very good for you because it keeps you nimble.
Prasanna and I go back 25 years maybe, and maybe more.
28.
28 years when you were young.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hi Prasanna. I'm so happy to have you. This long, fabulous relationship over 28 years. Seeing you start as art director, creative director, jumping agencies, starting on your own with hyphen brands now. It's like such a long journey. But rather than me saying, how do you feel about?
I feel that we've been blessed. The time that we entered advertising, I think we were really blessed because those were the really, if I have to say, fun but very intense years of advertising. You know, the work output, the ethics of people around you, the great collaboration of creative minds, everybody like trying to be the best that they could be. I think we were very blessed to.
So is it that there was controllable amount of content being created, and you had time to look at that content?
I think we are outputting the same amount of work.
Okay.
But I feel that the level of detailing, the level of looking at everything,
Okay.
obviously it meant a little bit more pressure in terms of time, but the intensity and the detailing that went to go. How can I improve this? Even if it was 0.1%, even if it was 1%, whatever it was.
So are you saying the involvement was larger?
Yeah, I think people were very deeply immersed, and the payoff was also there. Like the clients also used to appreciate if you used to point out to them saying that, oh, we tried to do this, but we bettered it in this way, and there was a genuine appreciation of that.
So brings me to a question that did technology and the ignorance innocence of technology make the client unreasonable for you? He said ये तो post में हो जाएगा.
I don't think the clients have become unreasonable. Lots of time people find this thing that, oh, clients have been responsible for this. I don't hold that point of view. I feel what has happened is that technology has made it so easier to reach you at a, say, a 60-70% mark.
Okay.
Right? That people have stopped going for 85, 90, 95%. Right? So if I have to say that during our times, there were average people who could do average work, and there were great people doing great work. Now the average people also can do a good amount of work. So that's the.
So technology kind of is an enabler.
Yeah. Technology has made it a level playing field. Some people are still using technology to better their skills, right?
Yeah.
But that percentage has gone down, is what I feel.
And let me ask you the most stale question of the market. What will AI do to our lives?
So AI is a very good thing, I feel. The moment before this ChatGPT conversation became so viral on Twitter and everything, I had been tracking ChatGPT since the news was just a fragment, like it was searching, and I had enrolled myself for ChatGPT beta testing version. And the day that it became available, because you have to know what is going to change your field drastically, right?
Correct.
So I went to ChatGPT. The day that it allowed me access, I told ChatGPT to create 3 ads, which was one was for an NGO, one was for an FMCG product, and one was a lifestyle product. And what I found was that, again, like technology being technology, it raised the bar of the average, right? So it was able to give me a 60%, 65% output, which was good, right?
I think that's fabulous.
It was fabulous, but it didn't threaten my creative instinct, because I think that 65% is the base springboard from which any creative guy will leap further. So the human touch is required.
Yeah, which I completely agree. So comfortably, the photographer still will be there, and
Every
the creative director still will be there.
Everybody is going to be there. I think we will learn to use it as one of the tools now. How we learned to use IMAX or PowerMax when they came.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Earlier we were doing paper artworks. Now we are doing So I think it's just a tool that will develop over time. What we have to be cognizant of is also copyright issues, because
Yeah.
AI is a very gray
We
area
don't
of
know
copyright.
who
Yeah.
owns it.
So how to commercially publish it and all is going to be a big question mark.
And other part of AI is AI generation.
Hmm.
Like if we talk about Mid Journey and
Yeah.
those kind of superbly done shots which you look at. What is your theory on that? What will AI generation do to the industry?
So there was a beautiful article. I forget the name of the guy who had written it, from the US, and I read that article. And what he stated was so true, and it rung true in my logic also, saying that the same tool or the same algorithm that allows AI to so quickly access hundreds and thousands of images and produce it together
Yeah.
is the same bottleneck that it will keep AI looking the same. So the
Okay.
look of AI, you'll be able to identify, okay, this is an AI thing, unless there is an artist who works on a base image of AI and makes it something.
So what I'm concluding this whole conversation is life is now going to be 65% upwards.
Correct. So that is the thing that we have to take as a base now. Okay.
So the novice will not be novice anymore because
It won't.
and the novice will not be a specialist
Yeah.
because he would have not excelled on his.
Yeah, exactly. We have to learn it to take it into the process, AI into the process, and how do we go further ahead on that, on every job.
Fabulous. So lots of learning. Every day there's a new perspective on what AI will do to photography, what it will do to our lives as technicians in the media world, graphic world, and no one perspective is good enough, but most of the learnings are common. And we're going to move to the next part. Prasanna, what do you feel after having worked with very big brands, FMCG brands, and then go to a very personal brand like Loveful's restaurant project? I mean, how do you see that? Do you see up, down, very big, small? What's the give and take?
I think, firstly, the diversity of the scale of the business that you work with is very good for you because it keeps you nimble, right? So
Yeah.
the inputs that are required for a small brand or a small company are very different from the inputs that are required for MFM, where the process is a little identified and you are like doing a betterment of that process. Whereas the smaller brand will require a full attention, a parenting, as to say,
Lot
that
of
brand.
mentorship.
Yeah, a lot of mentorship. So I think it's a good exercise to keep this balance, and that's what keeps us excited also at Hyphen Brands, is that we are able to contribute to both of these things. It's not a unidimensional kind of role that you play.
Yeah. I mean, here is peering into and here
Yeah,
widening
correct.
and
Correct.
putting things, and especially with the advent of aggregating their selling and tech playing a large part into how food gets sold through F&B
Right.
service brands
Yeah.
like restaurants, cloud
Yeah.
kitchen, and lots is beginning to change. I always get that feeling that very few of them are understanding it.
Right. Right.
Right, because it's such a personal thing. Oh, I have a guest sitting right in front of me, and I don't need to go to the net to sell influence.
Yeah.
So there is a certain kind of firewalling with a large part of the F&B industry. Since we don't require that, it's good to put a post to make it look good just for PR, but it will not convert into sale. और इतना मेहनत करेगा तो वो सेल आना चाहिए.
Correct.
So that kind of approach, what would your advice be to a restaurateur?
So what I feel is that, again, if we look at the basics, right, and if we really carefully study the basics, it's all the same, right? Again, like I said, digital platforms also are a tool, right?
Yes.
So if you understand what the consumer is going through, because the consumer has changed, right? And at Hyphen Brands, that's what we concentrate on. Like there's a 3C model that we have: consumer, context, and creative.
Okay.
Right? And the intersection of these always provides you a very focused answer to whatever brand needs. So the consumer has changed so rapidly from say 2005 to now, right? And we all know that India is the biggest adopter of communication technology going forward, right? Whereas the US is still upgrading their 2G towers to 5Gs. We are putting up 5G towers. We are not upgrading from 2G to 5G, right? WhatsApp found a business stronghold in India where carpenters, masons, and all that adopted technology. So the consumer has changed so drastically and so exponentially that now we need to just ask the question: how is the consumer experiencing your product? And there we will get all the answers that we need. Again, digital is only one of the platforms that we have. Treat it like that.
So you'll still require the physical interface with the client. Now you'll require, in addition, a digital interface. Then you require an imagery, which earlier was maybe a newspaper, and now it is the new Facebooks and Instagram. So it's the same thing in a new avatar, right?
Correct. You still needed a beautiful food picture to make you order it in a menu, or you had seen it somewhere else. You still require a beautiful picture on a Swiggy, Zomato to tell you, oh, I want that. So it is.
And would you like to tell us what you are doing for Lovefools?
So Lovefools has been a very enriching journey for us because firstly it's owned by our friend, and she came to us with a very open mind as to how we want to develop the brand. So while their food credentials were already in place, what we just pushed them towards is a more brand centric kind of an approach, and to establish that cutting edge they already have in food. How does the identity, how does the communication also get that cutting edge? So we are just being and taking the communication and the visual appeal of the food to that level.
I also feel that with the options, like a customer has just too many options, and there would be 100 cafes, there will be so many coffee shops, there will be so many Indian restaurants, so many biryani restaurants, etc., etc. Each has to craft a very unique space.
Yes, completely.
Which could come out of branding, communication, a very personal language. And I think that that's where I see communication agencies or branding agencies, social media agencies, finally finding a place in F&B.
And it's very important. It's very important because if you take the example of Lovefools itself, right? The the strategic position for Lovefools is being a part of Bandra. So the bar menu that we did for them was a 9-drink menu, which the 9 drinks celebrated the 9 Gauthans of Bandra, right?
Awesome.
So it's a cultural menu rather than a drinks menu, right? And that's what resonated with everybody. There were so many F&B outlets that started calling us after that, saying that can you please help us as well. And that's the way we are going now. We are thinking about doing merchandise, which is a Bandra and a Lovefools merchandise, which takes the association even more strongly forward.
So, what I'm learning from you is, I saw a lot of merchandise when I was born in the era of McDonald's, and people were buying Happy Toys with Happy Meals. And that was the way to get clients. Till you go to Starbucks and you see beautifully crafted mugs and jars, which they put a lot of effort. It's very accessible even for a small brand today to do whatever the big brands are doing. And more personal, right?
That is what e-com is allowing us to do.
Yes.
So that is the advantage that even brand custodians have now. That whatever idea that you have with the use of technology, now it's implementable.
So beautifully said. The learnings that I'm taking home is, if you're one store, two store, small setup, with the help of a great agency, you can create a language which sets you apart.
Yes, 100%.
Makes the brand personal. Makes you shout with confidence a certain kind of concept which you initially would have feared ki will it succeed or not succeed.
Yeah.
With the helping hand. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nitin. It's always a pleasure working with you and exchanging these notes and trying to push our boundaries also a little bit.